Hi guys, it's Tiffany, and it is time for us to have a serious talk again about blue whale. So we're going to call this video the Blue Whale Challenge Part 2. Before I tell you a little bit more about the blue whale, let me explain what happened today. And it probably happened a couple of weeks ago when I made the first blue whale video. So I made a video, it got like 1.9 thousand views on Facebook. Pretty sure I posted it on Twitter and Instagram and everywhere else as well. And as I said in that video, don't try to Google this, don't try to look it up, because they will find you and they will stalk you and threaten you and influence you to take your own life, or that they're going to harm your family and your children. You might have thought I was joking and you might have Googled it anyway, but that I'm going to tell you why that's not going to work out in your favor. So if you go into your Instagram, for instance, open up your Instagram account, click on that little settings wheel at the top, scroll down to where it says settings and it says linked accounts. This is just for anybody who didn't listen to me and actually Googled it, or made a video about it, or maybe even watched my video. I don't know how many people this has actually affected, but scroll down the little wheel, settings, linked accounts. You're going to see a full list. Let me tell you who's on my list of people that have access to my account, that my account is linked to. VK, which stands for VKon T. I don't know, it's in Russian, but that's the main name of the group, VK. This is an underground suicide game. I don't know what else to call it. It's an underground 50-day challenge to get your child to commit suicide. It's also called the Game of Death, the Blue Whale Game of Life, Silent House, Sea of Whales, Wake Me Up at 4:20 a.m. Okay, one of the other linked accounts to my Twitter account, on top of the 5 ones that were in Russian that I obviously couldn't even try to explain what they said if I wanted to, but I will be attaching links and screenshots to the bottom of this video. So whenever it does get posted on social media, all those links are going to be right there and you can see the screenshots for yourself. So we're going to talk about VK for a minute. Because I knew who VK was, and because I knew that it meant blue whale, I did a little bit more research on it. It turns out, you know this, every time they arrest somebody, they arrested a 21-year-old man who was behind this game in Russia, and not 5 minutes later, the game was back up and running again. This game preys on vulnerable kids and teens. One of the last reported deaths was in May, and one of the last things that you have to do is, she posted end as her status on social media. She also posted sense is lost, end. So that means you're following through on that last challenge. Kids are discovering this game at school. This is an underground group. It's not easy to get into. As soon as you start posting about it or start talking about it, teens ask how they can actually play the game. They want to get into the game. So this video is probably going to raise a lot of questions, and people are going to start asking how they can play the game. We're going to come back to that for a minute. So it turns out that VK and OKRU and all these links that I'm going to attach for you, so you can check them out on YouTube. Don't Google them. Check them out on YouTube. Please be a little bit safer than you should be. They find players through death groups. And the death groups, you could be anywhere between 8 and, 15, 16 years old. As soon as they find one, another one gets shut down, so it goes underground, right? So they target your child, and then they start kind of stalking them on social media and watching their every move, and they're kind of hoping and waiting for something to the effect of, I feel sorry for myself, or I hate my life, or, my parents suck, or whatever kids say on social media. And they're targeting these children. Then they start following them online. And they come at you as an administrator or curator. And your child is going to be forced to take their own life. So I'm going to tell you what some of these challenges are, just so you can hear how stupid it is. Before I do that, I'm going to tell you that each one of your 50 challenges, you have to do one and then take a picture and send it to your curator, okay, your mentor, your administrator. You have to send photographic and video proof of it. The Blue Whale Challenge, you're not going to find it on Google. You're not even going to find it on Facebook. These are private, closed groups and private message conversations. Administrators choose their victims rather than players themselves seeking out the game. But a lot of players are seeking out the game, even on videos like this. They're going to ask, oh, how do I play the game? This is for real. So if you're looking and you see anybody that's talking about a vulnerable teen, or is talking about how much they hate their life or something, speak out to these people, reach out to them. I'm going to give you some links, and I'm going to give you some options, specifically for these children that this group is targeting and that teens are actually voluntarily signing up for. So also, if they are seeking or trolling, if the admins are trolling, they're going to seek to expose you and seek revenge. But remember, anyone who encourages a vulnerable teen to take their own life is sick, and you don't know what people like that are capable of. They're going to threaten you. You have to follow through once you begin. It is very clear that you understand from the very first communication that, are you sure you want to play? And yeah, sure, I'm sure I want to play. All right, another way that they can get through to you is you can click on a link that someone sends you about downloading a file. This then exposes you, and you're very vulnerable, and security of your phone and computer then belong to the admin, and they can steal your personal data, which they could use to blackmail, manipulate, and trick you into playing. That's exactly what happened to me. I talked about this. I made a video about it. I said not to Google it. Of course, I had to Google it to get some information. Now they're following me, stalking me, and blackmailing me. Here's the 50 challenges. Number 1, carve with a razor F57 on your hand. Send a photo to your mentor. Wake up at 4:20 a.m. and watch psychedelic and scary videos that the curator sends you. Number 3, cut your arm with a razor along your veins, but not too deep. Only 3 cuts. Send a photo to the curator. Draw a whale on a sheet of paper and send it to your curator. If you are ready to become a blue whale or become a whale, carve yes on your leg. If not, you have to cut yourself 5 times to punish yourself. There's some kind of a task with the cipher. Carve F40 on your hand, send a photo, type hashtag I_M_whale in your VKontakte status, whatever. So you're going to get into this OKRU group, and you're going to get into this VK group. You have to log in. These are the people that are now stalking me on social media, but I now know how to get into the group, unfortunately. Anyway, so you change your status, okay? You log in and you change your status to I am a whale or I'm a blue whale. And now you have to overcome your fear. This is to condition you. For instance, wake up 4:20, go to a rooftop, the higher the better. Take a picture of it. You just have to stand there on the rooftop. This task you get asked to do this one multiple times. Each one, you have to get a little closer to the edge of that rooftop and get closer to jumping, because ultimately this is going to end by you jumping off of a roof and your child jumping off of a roof and taking their own life that they voluntarily agreed to do from day one. They signed up either because they were bribed or they signed up voluntarily. Carve a whale on your hand with a razor. Send a photo. Watch psychedelic and horror videos all day. This all has to happen at 4:20 at night, which is the silliest thing about the whole blue whale thing, but I'm going to leave that alone. Listen to music that they send you. Cut your lip in half. Poke your hand with the needle 100 times. Do something so painful to yourself and then make yourself get sick. Go to the highest roof that you can find, stand on the edge for 5 to 10 minutes and videotape it. Go to a bridge, stand on the edge and videotape it. Climb up a crane and photograph and videotape it, or have your friend photograph and videotape you climbing up a crane. The curator is then going to check and see if you're trustworthy. You're going to have a talk with a whale, right? That's another player like you, or a curator or a mentor in Skype. Y'all are going to have a conversation in Skype to make sure that they can trust you. Then once you have those communications online, which remember, you've been texting back and forth and you've been in these 2 apps, if not more apps, the whole time playing this game of death. It asks you to go to a rooftop and sit on the edge with your legs dangling and take a picture or a videotape. Now, the videos that I'm going to attach, don't let your children watch them. This is real footage. It's very disturbing. And it's the angle, say if I were on a rooftop looking down, it's my angle from my own view with my legs dangling down, or me laying on a railroad track. It's not something children should see. Then again, you need to talk to them about this, because this is what our children are doing. Don't forget, they're going to already have dyed their hair black, carved 420 into their arm, carved a whale on their left arm, and started dressing differently and isolating. Back to the 50 task. It asks you to do another task with the cipher. I don't know what that one is. Then there's a secret task. Now you get to meet with the whale, a curator, a mentor, an administrator in person. The curator tells you to pick the date of your death. Now that happens on the 3rd challenge. You can pick your date of death. And if you haven't picked your date of death by then, the 26th challenge is the curator meets with you in person, tells you the date of your death, and you have to accept it. Now, we wake up at 4:20 a.m. and start going to a railroad, any railroad track that you can find. You're not allowed to talk to anyone anymore. Stand on the edge of the railroad tracks for some time. The next one is go to a bridge, stand on the edge. Remember, videotape the whole thing. Climb up a crane again. Don't talk to anyone. You have to make a vow now, and you have to post it on all your social media that I am a whale, or hashtag I am a whale, or I'm a blue whale, something to that effect. Every day from this point on, you wake up at 4:20 a.m. and you watch the movies and listen to the music that they send you, and you make 1 cut per day and meet with and talk to that whale with the new 1 cut per day in front of your, mentor, administrator whale. Jump off the highest building and take your life. So they've conditioned you, they've threatened you, they've blackmailed you. Kids are learning about this in school. They're stalking me on social media, which is no surprise. I mean, I guess I saw that one coming. So here's what we're going to do about it. If you see anybody posting anything about blue whale, or the hashtag blue whale, or I'm a blue whale, or any child under the age of, 18 years old that starts, dyeing their hair and dressing in all dark colors, dyeing their hair jet black and dressing in dark colors, and some pretty obvious cuts on their body, but they could be wearing a jacket like I'm wearing, and you're not going to see these cuts because they're on their arms and their legs. So some of them might be able to hide it. And remember, it's only a 50-day challenge. I think they could hide it for 50 days if they wanted to. They cut off, they say that I'm a blue whale, and then they cut off all communication with everybody. So your child's going to start isolating. They're not going to talk to anybody for 2 weeks once they've been given their death date or picked their death date, and they've accepted that death date. They have to follow through. So I want you to reach out to these kids. If you see anybody, just talk to your own kids and have your kids talk to their friends and talk to your kids' friends and look through their phone and make sure they don't have any of the apps called Blue Whale, OK.ru, VK on to take, Game of Death, Blue Whale, Game of Life, Silent House, Sea of Whales, Wake Me Up at 4:20. Those are all just some of the names that are there. There's a million names for them. They're talking about it in school. This is the cool chat group that everybody wants to get into. It's underground. There's a movie about this. I've talked about this multiple times. I don't know the name of the movie, but teenager who, you know, her parents were separated and it was the end of the world. Her boyfriend broke up with her and she gets into this very exclusive chat group. That's exactly what Blue Whale is. So you see somebody that posts anything about hashtag Blue Whale on any of their statuses, or stops talking and stops, you know, communicating with you in your own home, or one of your friends, or one of the friends of your child. If you see anybody just acting different or stop communicating with everybody, and then all of a sudden they're posting on social media, and then all of a sudden they're not anymore, and then you see something about a blue whale or trigger words like end or ready. I mean, okay, so I want you guys to reach out to us. I want you to let us help you. If you know somebody that is playing this game, you know somebody that needs some help, reach out, pensforpals.org. You can sign up for our text subscriptions. You can also call 1-800-273-TALK in the United States. Every country has a different country code. That's it. I want y'all to take this seriously. I want you to look through your children's phones, and I want you to look through your Instagram like I asked you to in the beginning of the video, and see if they're already following you. See if you're getting death threats yet. And I have all the pictures of the 50 steps right here, and I will attach all the links to this video. I'm sorry it was really long, but I needed to get all of that in there. Y'all have a good day. Please be careful. Look through your kids' phones.